Hello there, my name's Card. I'm a long-time progressive community organiser and activist, and today I just want to briefly talk about a reactionary dog whistle that's been around for a few years now, as well as what it really means, who's using it, and why. For those who might not know, in politics, a dog whistle is a word, a phrase, or a symbol which seems perfectly innocent and innocuous to most people, but which really communicates a more sinister hidden message to those in the know. There'll also be a playlist of videos of mine, linked at the top of the description, which goes into detail about all sorts of reactionary dog whistles and how to spot them. Today, specifically, I wanted to talk about the word buck and how it's become a contemporary reactionary joke and signal. Simply put, buck has long been something of a semi-obscure racial slur directed towards black people, primarily in the US. In living memory, it hasn't always been the most well-known racial slur out there, but racists, of all people, sure are familiar with it. So it's a term that reactionaries might use to signal their racist bona fides to one another, including quite frequently online nowadays. Although, possibly one of the most studied invocations of a dog whistle in history was when, during his 1976 presidential campaign, Ronald Reagan bemoaned the, quote, strapping young bucks who allegedly bought T-bone steaks with welfare food stamps. That was a prime example of a public figure tiptoeing right up to the line of saying something most people might recognize as racist. So only the genuine racists in his audience would get the meaning, but most listeners would just be none the wiser. In the past few years too, it's worth mentioning that an indie documentary about the use of racial violence as a tool of social control during the days of the transatlantic slave trade, called Buck Breaking, became quite popular in certain circles online. And if nothing else, it really returned the word buck to the vocabulary of a lot of people online in a very visceral way. So, if you do ever happen to see people online calling other people bucks for seemingly no clear reason, at the very least now you know why. They're not just comparing people to deer, someone is trying to break out the vintage slurs. As with any dog whistle or obtuse reactionary term, it does help to be able to spot these sorts of things and suss out why people are posting them, which you can only do properly if you know what these sorts of terms and bits of iconography mean. So, for the sake of keeping your online spaces free of potential troublemakers and people with less than good intentions, it never hurts to be able to recognize these sorts of things. That's all I have to say today. I hope it helps. Once again, my name's Card. If you might want to hear more from me, especially more about emerging or obscure reactionary dog whistles and how to spot them, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube page, or just take a look at my other videos. Either way, goodbye for now, and stay safe out there.